Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Miriam and in 2021 I challenged myself to read 365 books. Yes, you heard that correctly. I read a book a day, sort of. In today's video I'm going to tell you about the 5 books that I look forward to read the most, I guess, this fall. It's actually more than 5 books, but I have this series on my channel that's called 5 Books That, and it's been a while since I posted a video in that series, but today's video will be in that series. And the first book that I'm really looking forward to read is Once Upon a Wardrobe. This is the Dutch edition. It's called eens, kleerkast. And you know, fairy tales start with Once Upon a Time, and this book is called Once Upon a Wardrobe. And in Dutch, fairy tales start with eens, which is also the first half of this title. I've read one other book by Patti Callahan, Becoming Mrs. Lewis. That's about C.S. Lewis's wife and how they met and how their relationship starts to grow. This book is about a student called Megs, and her little brother George is very ill. And he reads the Chronicles of Narnia, the first book, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, and he wants to know where the story comes from. So Megs is looking for C.S. Lewis and starts to ask him questions. The book takes place in 1950 when The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe first came out. I'm a big fan of Narnia, so I'm really looking forward to read this book and learn more about C.S. Lewis, because I heard that it's also about C.S. Lewis's life and how it probably influenced the writing of the Chronicles of Narnia. The next book I'm looking forward to read is actually a series of 3 books. I'm going to, ta-da! A Curse So Dark and Lonely, A Heart So Fierce and Broken, and A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Brigid Kemmerer. I've read 2 books by this author so far, Letters to the Lost and, I can't remember the title of that book, but I've talked about it in one of my weekly wrap-up videos. Anyway, ever since I noticed that Brigid Kemmerer also wrote fantasy books, I'm really curious to read these books, and they've been on my TBR for a long time, and I recently got the editions of these books. I do not really like the spine, but I do like the cover. To be honest, I do not really know what they are about, only that they are fantasy for YA people, and I'm not all YA, but I do love to read YA books, so yeah, well, we'll see what's going to happen. The next book is a book that I've already started, as you can see. It's The Innocence of Father Brown by G.K. Chesterton. It's actually a funny story how I got this book. At least I think it's funny. A few months ago I was online dating and I was talking to a guy, and he said that he was reading this book. Finally we got on a date together, and then he brought me this book, and now he's my boyfriend, because boys that bring books, you should keep them. I did not really know what to expect of the Father Brown series, but I've always said that I wanted to read a book by G.K. Chesterton because C.S. Lewis was also a fan of his books, I believe, and as you know, I'm a big fan of C.S. Lewis. I've started it, and actually the first 2 chapters were amazing, and I really look forward to read the rest of this book. The next book I'm looking forward to is a Dutch book, Tot ik je vind, but it's actually a translated book. The English title is Chasing the Wind by Melanie Dobson. I once again don't know what this book is about, but I read Memories of Glass by this author, and that was a huge favourite book of mine. It's actually one of the best I read in 2021, and as you might know, I read a lot of books this year. Someone I know, one of my bookish buddies, actually said that she liked this book even more, so when I got to a store where they sold this book for a very attractive price, I thought, I want to have this book and I want to read it. Once again, I don't know what it's about, but I like the cover and I like the title. Both titles actually, the Dutch title and the original title, because they mean different things actually. Because this title, Tot ik je vind, is actually literally translated as Until I Find You, and the English title is Chasing the Wind, which is something entirely different, but it's okay. When I finish this book I will probably tell you what I thought of it. The last book that, well, I keep saying that I look forward to read, but I don't know how to put it differently, but another anticipated read is My Grandmother Sends Her Regards and Apologises by Fredrik Backman. I believe that this book is available at 2 different titles in English. It's originally a Swedish book, but for some reason I read all Backman's books in English. I have not read the synopsis of the story, so I do not really know what it's about, but it's a book by Backman, so it has to be good, I think. Well, actually I read Britt Marie Was Here and I was not really impressed by that book. But the summary on the back says, when Granny leaves Elsa a mysterious series of letters apologizing to those she has wronged, the stories come to life in ways Elsa could never have imagined, sending her on a breathtaking adventure of her own. That sounds really interesting, don't you think? So these were some books that I really can't wait to read and hope to dive in very soon. Was there a book that you also want to read? Let me know in a comment. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more bookish content, then please subscribe to my channel. And as always, happy reading.